Am I the a-hole for not looking after my brother after having a child? This past year has been one of massive change for my family. There were a few deaths in the family and my wife and I welcomed our first child earlier in the year. While visiting, my parents brought up what would happen after they passed, including having me look after my brother and his family. Some background. My brother has high-functioning autism, formerly called Asperger's syndrome, and lives at home with my parents with his wife and their 2 kids, both teenagers. He has always struggled to hold down any job for longer than a few months or a year. My parents have always been there to help him out and to help out with his kids, taking them on vacations and such. It was always assumed that when we got older that I would look after him once my parents passed. All throughout growing up, my family was focused on his care, and that meant I would try and help out whenever I could. Hard for a younger brother to help out an older brother though. This was partially due to me not really wanting to have a family of my own, brought on mostly because why would I want to have 2 families to take care of? Well, several years ago I moved halfway across the country for work, met my wife, and after a few years of marriage we decided that we wanted to try and start our own family. Back in the present day, when my parents come to visit and bring up looking after my brother, I tell them that's not really on the table anymore. They get offended, mostly my mom. My dad understood why, but I told them that right now my #1 priority is looking after my child. My brother is their child, not mine. Now they act as if I have turned my back on my family by doing this. I told them I'm not cutting him out of my life or anything, but I cannot do much for him from halfway across the country and with my own child to look after. My parents still have many years left and my brother's kids should be past 18 and out of the house by the time they are likely to pass, so it's not like I am abandoning children. I can't help but shake the feeling like I am being selfish, but I know that it isn't inherently selfish to draw a line and say I am going to focus on raising my own family. Am I being an a-hole here?
Here are the top comments.
Your brother was independent enough to date. Your brother was independent enough to marry. Your brother was independent enough to have children with his wife. Your brother can be independent to get a job and live on his own with his own family. His wife should be his support system. She chose to be with him and to have children with him. He's obviously not a child anymore. He obviously can make adult decisions, so he obviously can take care of himself. Yet it's obvious that he's been babied his whole life and chooses not to be independent. Not the a-hole.
Not the a-hole. Your parents need to push your brother out of the nest. He has a wife that should be a partner to your brother, and although Asperger's makes it hard to catch social cues, it doesn't make it impossible to hold a job. I have family members who have Asperger's and are on the spectrum, but it can't be used as an excuse. Your brother has a family, so your parents are just enabling him. You can get a lot of information on your brother's issues and send it to your parents. Time for them to be happy you have your own life. Good luck.
No, not the a-hole. He isn't your responsibility. He is married with children. If he is able to do that, then he is capable of looking after himself and his own family.